in the dark. Saturday Night Live, baby dolls. Booger sugar with fentanyl is trouble. Yes, I would say that is correct, Dr. Queenon. I mean, unfortunately, I knew two of the three comics who passed away. What was that, about 2 years ago? So, the way my buddy, let's just call him an acquaintance. I would not say he was a friend, but he told me from the time the cocaine is made in Colombia, it's probably stepped on anywhere from 1 to 3 times before it even leaves Colombia. And then it goes to either South Florida, Texas, or Arizona, or California. So from Colombia to any of those destinations, it's stepped on another 1 to 3 times. So say you're in Los Angeles. From Colombia to Los Angeles, it's been stepped on anywhere from 5 to 10 times. And you don't know what it's been stepped on with. It's not just baking soda anymore. It's fentanyl and any number of other different substances. So it's literally doing cocaine in 2024 is literally the modern day Russian roulette. I love the dark. The TV is off, so we are Earl in the dark. How many true friends are there in comedy? It depends on how well you're doing in comedy. The weeks I have spots at the Comedy Store, a lot more people seem to contact me. What up, Ross Incognito? My schedule's been I had a big audition today from 4 to 6. Or else I would have, I think I'm going to try and stick to the 6 o'clock time zone. That's 6 o'clock my time. What up, Mason in Portland? Yeah, I mean, I've never done it before, and I'm glad because I'm so low energy most times that I probably would enjoy it, the adrenaline it gives you, but um, it just, the people cutting it up, they don't give a shit about you dying if you take it. There's that great scene in Miami Vice, the Golden Triangle episode, where John Santucci was explaining to Edward James Olmos, I don't give a shit where they get their drugs, whether it's Turkish Brown, Detroit, New York. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it somewhere. It might as well be for me. So guys like that exist in real life. Going to any Steeler games? Well, I see they play Denver in Denver. I wouldn't mind going to that game. I think that's the closest game, if I read the schedule correctly. I also see they play the Raiders. Now, they played the Raiders in Vegas this year, or this past season. I don't imagine them playing the Raiders in Vegas again. So I will I might go to the Denver game. Steelers, I think, have the roughest schedule. I don't know why. I would think the league would have some interest in Russell Wilson doing well. And I believe 6 of their last 8 games are against division opponents. So that's going to be an interesting. They better hit the last 6 weeks or the last 8 weeks of their season, like a couple games above 500. How nice is SoFi Stadium? I mean, the stadium is great. It's a little wonkily laid out. I mean, the one who did I see there? Metallica and Mammoth, and I seem to recall trouble getting out of the stadium. It's not the best laid out stadium. Now, you would think with 2 billionaire owners, the owners of the Rams and Chargers kinda collaborated, that it would be the greatest laid out stadium known to mankind, but and the parking's crazy. It's $100 and you park at the Forum, and walk over. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world, but, because the surrounding neighborhood, it ain't great. I gotta be honest with you. Um, it's literally littered blood and Crip neighborhoods. So the $100 is probably the smartest thing you can do. Um, I mean, sight lines, it's good. I mean, the best thing about it is the big screen, it's like goes around the top of the arena, and there's also a big screen inside. So if you don't have the greatest seats, you can look on the inside and still see whatever it is, 8K presentation. Yeah, AFC North is going to be brutal. And for the Steelers, the last 6 of the last 8 games are division opponents. And I think they start off with, I think, 4 or 5 of the first games are on the road. So, and it's not like the Steelers killed it last year, so they should have a tough schedule. But we'll see. I mean, you got to play the games. It's going to be a very interesting path. I'm assuming Russell Wilson will be the starter, and then Justin Fields. See what happens. I mean, I don't know if him and Sean McVay, Boulder Johnny, they were not a good mix. So I don't know if I would say he's done yet. I mean, I think Mike Tomlin is probably the biggest players coach in the league. So if he can't do well with Mike Tomlin, um, you know, then he probably is done. Now they do have George Pickens, who I think is the best receiver in the league. They also lost Deontay Johnson. They traded him. So they've got to figure that out, because if they don't pick up someone who's a 1A, 1B receiver, then Pickens is just going to get triple teamed every game. Now, I know there's a couple receivers on the 49ers that people were linking to the Steelers, but, we'll see what happens. I mean, like off-season workouts and whatnot are already starting, so it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Steelers. By all accounts, they had the best draft of any team. I didn't see any draft grade lower than an A minus. So, but really rookies, especially offensive line, I don't know how much they can be impactful. They drafted the one guy who doesn't have an ACL. That's insane to me. Oakland is sketchy. Forget the area around the stadium. Well, I mean, I don't think him and Sean McVay. Is it Sean McVay? No, Sean Payton. I'm sorry. I think I said Sean McVay. I don't think they were a good fit from day one. They seem to be beefing. Um, Hello. See, Dr. Nova gets it. Yeah, Stroud's is amazing. I love listening to you call and predict games. Timothy McVeigh is the coach of the Broncos. Might as well be. Hello. Um, the Steelers. And they have a new offensive coordinator, and Arthur Smith, the old coach of the Falcons. So, and he's bringing in a lot of guys who were with him in Atlanta, who are familiar with his system. I mean, anything's better than Matt Canada. I mean, if you look at the Steelers from last year, I mean, look at the weapons they had. You had Pickens, Deontay Johnson. So arguably they had two of the top 10 receivers in the league. And I'm not a Steelers homer, but that's arguably. You've got, outside of Kelsey, one of the best pass catching tight ends in Fryermuth. You've got Warren and Najee Harris, a great 1-2 different style running back combo. Um, you've got the big kind of rookie tight end. What was he, like 6'8"? I forget his name, but like he was a good understudy for Fryermuth. You had a pretty good offensive line. So, you had a lot of weapons. So, I know Kenny Pickett didn't exactly endear himself to Steeler fans with how he acted toward the end of his tenure, not wanting to be a backup to Mason Rudolph and, Trubisky, I mean, Trubisky's Trubisky. I don't know what people expected from him. So, of course, they blew up the quarterback room. It's three completely different quarterbacks: Wilson, Fields, and Wilson from New York, the Jets. The defense will always be good in Pittsburgh, but they are kind of hitting probably the prime or the beginning of the tail end of the prime for TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick. So I wouldn't say it's time to win now, but I think Watt and Fitzpatrick are almost getting into that Mike Trout zone of, hey man, we're wasting this guy's prime years. So it's going to be very interesting year for the Steelers. They are definitely a team to watch. What up, Drunken Donuts? I mean, I think Mike Tomlin is a great coach, but it might be time for a change in Pittsburgh. I mean, everyone loves him and he's a total players coach, but uh, but yeah, I mean, look at that last four games. I mean, KC and Christmas, I think, Ravens, Philadelphia, Cincinnati. Uh, that just seems unfair. And it's not like the Steelers were undefeated last year. They struggled for a bit. So I can understand if you want to give Kansas City a bit of a tough schedule just because they are a very good team, but yeah, I mean, Texans, I mean, the Steelers aren't the only team with a tough schedule, but what do you think of the Commanders? I really only follow the Steelers, so I don't know much about the Commanders, to be honest with you. Earl, did you see that old dude pumping gas? I don't know what you mean, Michael. What old dude? Um, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I haven't seen too many old dudes pumping gas lately. Um, so you might have to clarify that question. But we're here together on a Saturday night, just chilling right now. After this, I'm going to watch a little bit of AEW Collision and Rampage. Go to the gym. I don't have a show tonight. But you guys might be seeing me on a major streaming service in a few months. I got a good shot at something. Of course, you know, it's a tough business, but I had a very important and good audition today. Well, no, I haven't gotten it yet, but it would be very nice to get this. It would help in many facets of my entertainment career. Thank you very much. Yes, let's send out the good vibes for this one. It would help set me up with some good things. It would be, and it's not a cartoon. I can't legally, I can't say what it is. Yes, Dave Lee, thank you very much. William Zoom, what up? We got some old schoolers coming in here. I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, Brendan Schaub could sell out most rooms in the country, which is completely disheartening. But I get it. It just is what it is. That's the business. Clubs don't care if you're funny or not. They probably want you to be, but he can fill a comedy club like that. So, there's just I would like it. It would be nice to get some momentum. The roast battle credit is nice, but it's, almost 8 years ago, and the jellies probably isn't coming back, to be honest. So, although it certainly is still on the air, it would be nice to get a current television credit. Oh, I think he has real fans. I mean, you can't fill a whole room of people and have them all hate you. Like, uh, I think the standards for his fans are pretty low in terms of what's funny. But I can't hate on the guy. I mean, there's not a comic in the world who would like not take the path he did if they were presented it. So, I listen, I mean, an animation project would be nice, but this particular gig, even though it's not an animation project, could help me get an animation project. See, I don't know who Uncle Laser is. I don't watch Kill Tony. Um, and I'm friends with Tony. It's not a slight towards Tony. I don't want to watch comedy. I want to do it. I don't want to watch it. Uh, I mean, that's the problem with some of these, podcasts. You get on them, you get an instant following, or some of these shows. Like if you go on Roast Battle's Instagram page, they have over 100,000 followers. So if you get featured, one of your battles gets featured on the main page, you're going to pick up a lot of followers. And then, okay, do stand up now. Oh, what happens after 4 minutes? Because if you do a roast battle, even a 3 round roast battle that goes into overtime, you're probably doing about 5 minutes of material. Or if you kill Tony, you're doing 1 minute of comedy. Um, so you get some of these kill Tony comics. They're asked to headline because they get like a lot of followers in a pretty short amount of time. But then when you're asked to headline, it's minimum 45 minutes, and the bigger clubs like the A clubs, improvs, um, and Mothership and other, the Stand, the Cellar, you're going to do an hour. So if you're really um, trained to do like comedy, most cities, you're not getting hour sets. You're getting maybe 8 to 15 minute sets. At the Comedy Store, you do 15. Now, when I close out the main room, they leave it up to me as to how much time I can do. So I do about an hour. So I'm conditioned to do an hour, and it's not that hard. But when you're a younger comic, you don't have an hour. You don't have a half hour. You probably don't have 20 minutes. And you blow up on Kill Tony or Roast Battle or shows like that. Bingo. Do an hour, kid. And usually the feature act is a veteran comic, male or female. Shit, the MC is usually a headliner. So you got to follow two established comics who've got the time, and then you've got to do almost, I won't say 10 times, but maybe 5 to 8 times the amount of material you're used to doing. And it's not just standing up there, it's standing up there and being funny for an hour, not just, hey, you from out of town, Slick? Would you rather star in a series or a movie? Well, probably a series, just because there's more episodes, so there's more exposure. Uh, I mean, well, yeah, but see, I don't know anything about Uncle Laser, so I'm not hating on the guy. Um, um, So, I mean, I don't know what Schaub's up to be honest with you. So, but I don't know if anyone wants to see him fight one more time, but I could see him doing that bare knuckles fight, and someone just saying, "Hey, you want to fight Fedor?" I'd watch that. Good evening, Chris Mack. Good evening, Nick. Well, I think Schaub, for the most part, stayed out of New York 'cause New York's hardcore. Um, that I can't imagine Schaub going to, say, The Stand or The Cellar, where he'd be on a lineup with Mark Norman, Mike Lawrence, Sarah Tiana. That would not end well, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, I think if the comics are cool, like I get tags all the time from other comics watching my set. Hey, Earl, that was a funny joke. I mean, Jimmy Carr gave me a great tag one night. Here's the biggest comic in the world. He don't need to fucking help me. And he watched my set one night and he said, hey, why don't you try that joke this way? Now, some comics would get offended by that. But when I have Jimmy Carr telling me, hey, do a joke like this, I'm going to do the joke like he said. And you know what? It worked better. Uh, would I rather watch him fight or do comedy? I mean, well, since I don't watch comedy, I'd rather watch him fight. You need to rename this show Dementia Ton Repeat. Daniel, are you trolling me? Get out of town. I mean, but those guys you just mentioned, Boulder Johnny, they're all funny. I mean, you might not like them. I don't tell people who they think should be funny or not, but um, you know, I don't like Larry the Cable Guy, but obviously the guy's funny. I mean, you don't fill arenas like he did or does and not be a little funny. The Stand is not the credit store. Schaub wouldn't stand a chance there. Well, I mean, you got to figure. I think part of what hurt Schaub was he never really worked on his act. He didn't go to open. I don't go to open mics a lot, but I go to workout rooms and I test out things. There's a workout room in is it Manhattan Beach called Ponchos, and it's every Monday night. And I go there, and it's a bar show, but they're there for the comedy. Um, and a lot of the King at Los Angeles Kings live around there, so sometimes they're there for the show, which is neat for me. But like, I don't see Shab doing shit like that. Like you got to work on your act. Even Chappelle works on his act. Even Bill Burr will pop in unannounced to work out 10 new minutes. So if Burr's working on his act, we all can work on our acts. Um, well, yeah, I mean, so much of comedy is who you have behind you. I mean, Matt Rife, 3 or 4 years ago, couldn't get booked on a show in LA. He literally only got up at at his own show at the Laugh Factory, and then this year he headlined the Netflix festival because now Netflix is behind him. Probably in part Dr. Nova. Uh, you know, I mean, listen, but I don't blame Shab. I mean, listen, if Joe Rogan says, Earl, do you want to do my podcast? Yeah, I do. Oh, I'm sorry, Queen on. Has a comic ever stolen your bit? I mean, one night I'm in the bathroom at the Comedy Store. Now, this is in the old layout where the bathrooms were uh, not in the original room, but they were kind of lined up in the original room in the back. And I'm taking a wee wee, and I heard a comic doing a bit of mine word for word, and it was about Miami Vice. And in the 25 years of doing stand-up comedy, I've never heard another comic do a Miami Vice bit. So it wasn't parallel thinking. And there was someone who I'd done a lot of rooms with. And I don't think they knew I was in the back of the room because I was in the bathroom. And I just walked up to him afterwards and was like, dude, come on, man. And he kind of stumbled and, just nothing ever happened. Uh, Earl, you ever meet Michael Turner, Cincinnati comic? I was on the Shane Doan roast with Michael Turner, so yes, I have met him. Netflix isn't how long now? Now I don't talk about that stuff, Doctor Nova. I don't. I mean, Joe's helped a lot of comics, so I have nothing but love for Joe. Um, you know, he's literally responsible for Tony's career, Segura's career, Bert's career, Ari Shaffir's career, Duncan Trussell's career, and probably 10 other comics. I mean, there's no one um, who's helped more comics other than Brian Moses from Roast Battle. I mean, Moses is someone you don't really think of as helping comics, but Moses has literally helped hundreds of comics get stage time at the Comedy Store who otherwise wouldn't be allowed at the Comedy Store. Now, you could say that's good or bad because of the level of some of their comedy, but I've never met Brian Regan. Well, I mean, listen, Matt, uh, I've only seen him do a few minutes of comedy at the store one night. I mean, the guy is locked in with his crowd. Like, um, I can't say he's the funniest comic in the world because I've never watched him really outside of that 2 minutes I walked in and said, "Let me see what he's about." And his fan base loves him, and that's all that matters. That's all I want. I want a fan base that thinks I'm the funniest fucking comic in the world, and I got to find those. Tim Dillon said, "Earl, you need 2,000 fans in this business to make it. Who watch your YouTube streams, go on your Patreon, um, who buy your tickets when you're performing." So, oh man, days with Jordan the Lion in the house. No spoilers tonight. I don't know the outcome of Will Ospreay's match. I'm not sure if I would waste Will Ospreay wrestling Shane Taylor. I don't see a benefit there. I know they wrestled tonight. I don't know the outcome, but Shane Taylor's a pretty big boy, and I don't think he's on the level skill-wise of Will Ospreay. That reeks of an injury happening, but I think Ospreay. I'm kind of warming up to. I've been watching some Roderick Strong matches. Initially, I was like, Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong. I don't want to see that shit. But that's going to be a good match. And obviously, next week, I'm looking forward to Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale. I've seen that match live, New Japan, Long Beach, the Pyramid, about a year ago. And I'm going to tell you, Mercedes Moné might not be great on the mic, but she is fantastic in the ring. Now, I don't know what the original finish of that match was because she broke her ankle, so Willow obviously won. I don't know if she was supposed to win uh, or Mercedes was, but like you watch Mercedes wrestle, you're like, this girl has it. Now, I don't know what it is, but she's got it. Night Moose with just a moo. Speaking of moo, I love Moose in TNA. I really was not familiar with him, but he is winning me over. He's a big boy, great body, pretty good on the mic. Um, you know, I was hoping him and Nick Nemeth would have a longer feud because I thought the way they ended their match, which was Nemeth's shoulder being off the mat, but they still counted 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're going to go into a prolonged storyline here, but so far, no. But I'm happy for Nick, aka Dolph Ziggler, his brother Ryan, the Hollywood Hunk. I believe that he's not in AEW anymore because he's showing up a lot in TNA. Now, I don't know if TNA and AEW have kind of a working relationship. So, because it seems like guys kind of float in and out, and girls. So, Queen on who would you book in an AEW versus WWE show? I mean, if I had to do a 5-match Super Bowl supercard show, I would go MJF versus Roman Reigns, Will Ospreay against Seth Rollins. I would go FTR versus the Usos. I would go Mercedes Moné against Becky Lynch. And let me see. I would go. Oh well, obviously CM Punk versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I mean, it's got a storyline already. I mean, that's the money. I would go Kenny Omega against AJ Styles, the Young Bucks. I see. I don't know a lot of the tag teams in WWE. Uh, maybe got to have Cody Rhodes in there too. So I'd go Okada against Cody Rhodes. Um, Someone's gonna have to help me out with tag teams. You know, I don't know a lot of tag teams in the WWE. Earl, can I please get a small commando quote to help propel me forward for the next couple miles? I mean, usually I charge Dr. Nova for specific lines and songs, but for you, since you are a frequent um, well, Lance, I am. Hold on, let me get to Lance's. I get this is a business and you have to make money, but this will be the last time I tune in with all these ads. Sorry, man. 35 seconds may be nothing to you, but it's a lot to me. I understand that, Lance. I'm not in control of the length of the ads. Um, I don't want to lose you as a listener, but I'm not in control of that, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, I don't really make a lot. I don't like talking about money anymore on the stream because I think people think I'm just trying to do a sly. Hey, if I talk about money, they'll super chat me or whatever. I make the least amount of money on the ads, to be honest with you. So, um, I think for every 1,000 views, I literally make maybe $2, literally $2. So, super chats are, like the other day, I think I made $220 in my, there we go, uh, $220 in the stream the other night. It's definitely an all-time record. And, for me to make $220 on ads would take me literally probably 40 streams. So I get it though. I think there is a way to shorten the ad. I think it said the ad will, you can end the ad in like 5 seconds. It's like a countdown clock, but I get it. But unfortunately, Lance, there's nothing I can do about that. Talk about a mismatched skill set. Who are you talking about, Jordan the Lion? How dare you? But I will give you a commando quote. Why don't you have Dylan do it? Wait, well, hold on. What was Vernon Wells' name? Okay, when they got Schwarzenegger tied up on the table and they're threatening him with killing his daughter if he doesn't do what they want. They want him to assassinate the president of Valverde. 1, 2, 3. Why don't you have Bennett do it? Sounds like something he'd get off on. Hold on, I didn't land that clean. Let me do it one more time. Someone say action in the stream. I'm a pro. I'm a pro's pro. Someone say action in the stream so I can get Dr. Nova his line. Why don't you have Bennett do it? Sounds like something he'd get off on. Stick around. That's the movie Predator, not Commando. Well, I think ads on YouTube are, they're like streams on Spotify. I think Snoop Dogg, if you can believe that, actually said for him to make $1,000, he needs 1,000,000 streams. Boulder Johnny, $2. It's not $49.99, but I took a month of May off. Thank you, Boulder Johnny. But for me to make $2, like I said, I mean, it would literally take 40 streams for me to make $219, which is insane. I mean, that's why people like Melton and others are doing, I think, super tips, which is you get most of the money. But I don't know how to do that. I fought so hard to get monetized on YouTube. I'll just stick with the current system. I mean, they do take 30%. And then you have to pay taxes on those 70% you're making. Um, but yeah, I mean, Boulder Johnny does bring up a very good point, as annoying as the ads are. Now, I do pay for YouTube Premium myself. It's definitely worth it because there's no ads. And if you watch a lot of YouTube, it's a pretty fair price. But if you don't, you're going to be subjected to the ads. And I actually, when you're monetized on YouTube, you can, there's three levels that you can do of ads in terms of light ads, medium ads, or heavy ads. Where if I was really bilking you guys for money, I would have heavy ads, which is like a lot of interruptions. I mean, saying an hour stream, I think the stream gets like three or four sections of ads. So in the beginning, somewhat in the beginning, the middle, and the end. I've chosen the middle part. So I'm hardly making money on ads. So Dynamite this week is no, it's not. No way is Dynamite Danielson versus Satnam Singh. They could make Satnam Singh a player in this game. He's got the look, he's got the strength. As Jay Lethal told me at the Ric Flair roast, he doesn't know his own strength. So now Jay Lethal didn't say, Jay Lethal said that. He didn't say this part. You know, he hurts guys because he was explaining to me how, like, Wardlow does his power bombs. If you ever watch Wardlow do a power bomb, like the one when the devil reveal happened, he hoisted MJF up, and then at the top he lets him go. So MJF basically power bombs himself. Satnam Singh doesn't let you go at the top. He actually power bombs you. Fucking idiot. Uh, and he's athletic. It's not like he's the great Khali and he can't move. But I mean, I personally think 30% is a bit much. I mean, 30% just seems Night Moose excessive. Like, in Hollywood, like if I get this gig I auditioned for today, the person who helped get me it will get 15%, um, maybe 20 because of their stature. So 30% just like, I mean, I'm not complaining. Really? Are you crazy, Jordan? Jesus. By the way, check out Jordan's travel vlog. Um, so yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I could have my streams sponsored by, like, say, Blue Chew. Uh, Thank you, Animal Mother. I think you're complimenting me. Giant Gonzalez. I was watching. Was it the War Games when Sid Vicious legit knocked out Brian Pillman cold with two botched power bombs? And I don't think Giant Gonzalez was in the match, but they sent him down there to rescue Brian Pillman, who was knocked out. And I think Sid was about to pick him up for a third power bomb. I mean, Sid don't give a fuck. Um, and Giant Gonzalez, like, he was in the NBA. I think the Atlanta Hawks. Jordan would like this. There is a picture on the internet of Giant Gonzalez and Eric Singer from Kiss. It's pretty funny. Um, well, but arguably Queen on similar. I don't think either one could speak English that good, so it's kind of hard to cut promos. Satnam Singh seems a little rough on promos, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, Blue Chew, I'm sure I could make decent money. Like, Blue Chew strikes me as if this stream ever got popular. Uh, hey, $500 a stream, you got to do a minute ad roll. I probably would do it. No one had a don't give a fuck power bomb like Vader. Yeah, Vader hurt guys. Like Vader, I think, didn't he break a guy's back once? No, Pillman's son is in NXT now. I met him at the Ric Flair roast. Um, Nice kid. You could tell there's a bit of a tortured soul inside of him, but he was very nice, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I probably could reach out to certain companies because I have enough of a social media following where if I reached out to Hims or Blue Chews or um, any ads you see on Instagram, go, hey, for $100 a month, $200 a month, if I do an ad, can you send me money? They probably would at this point. But I'm not necessarily streaming for money, to be honest with you. I mean, the other night was an outlier. I think you guys were just feeling it. And, because the stream before that I thought was a lot when I made like $95. So it was a good week in terms of, definitely my most financially rewarding week of streams. Sorry, I just saw this, Jordan. You are blowing it. Go to the showgirls. Uh, I'm not sure what that means. Explain yourself, Mr. Lion. Uh, I've never tried Blue Chews. Yes, you are, and admit it. And let's become rich. Well, I don't think anyone goes into streaming thinking they're going to make tons of money. I mean, Kevin Brennan is the outlier of um, making a living doing streams, but he also puts in the work, whether you like him or not. He's doing 3-hour streams basically 7 days a week. I'm not willing to do that. My stream will be over tonight in 19 minutes. I like to have you guys wanting more. Now, I'm sure if I streamed for the next 4 hours, I could probably make a few $100 just out of your guys feeling sorry for me. But I'm not an online panhandler. I mean, the other night was fun. I mean, listen, to make $200 in a little over an hour, I was like, hey, man, I could get used to this. But, I mean, I think I do feel more motivated lately. I would say the last 5 to 6 streams, not talking about the Dabbleverse almost at all. Um, I've noticed more wrestling fans coming in here. Not a lot, but, more than before. Of course, I know talking about hockey is pretty limiting in here, but, it's what I like. So I'm hoping in a year from now, instead of 15 people, we got 150 people. And we're talking hockey, wrestling. Basically, we're talking what we're talking about now, but there's 100 more people in here. Uh, Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I just a little, I had to audition today for about an hour for a nice streaming gig, and so I was a little off. Why don't you have Bennett do it? Sounds like something he'd get off on. Uh, I got a topless show here. I want to see your tits. Marty, line them up. Jesus, Marty, look at these tits. This is the stage, babe, not a patch. See ya. I've seen you before, haven't I? Yes, Mr. Moss. You told me to come back when I got my nose fixed. Very nice. Very nice. Your ears are sticking out. Come back when you get them fixed. I bet you can't spell MGM backwards. MGM. Nice. Come back when you fuck some of this baby fat off, kid. What kind of classes have you taken? I've taken jazz. I've taken step. I've taken ballet. I've taken jazz ballet. The show's called Goddess. It ain't called classes. See ya. That's the great actor Alan Rasheen is the homoerotic choreographer and showgirls Tony Moss. Thank you very much. The studs workers cannot be found, and no, I'm not donating I've worked too hard in this business to donate the one good night I had streaming. I mean, I'm already banging movie stars. Hello. I don't talk about everything. Someone asked me the other day who's the most famous person I've ever had sex with. Don't worry about it. As Christian would say, don't interrupt me when I'm conducting business. And someone tweeted at my ex Chandler the other day, stop it. Whatever you were trying to do, it didn't work. But follow her anyway. I hold no grudges. Welcome from Finland, Mr. Urbane. I won't forget you guys, baby. The Earl Army are soldiers in my war against comedy. And I appreciate you guys being with me on the ground floor. Um, I would say, in terms of who gave out the toughest power bombs, it's definitely Vader and Sid Vicious. I mean, Sid knocked out Brian Pillman cold and still power bombed him again, and was going to try and do it again until Giant Gonzalez. You're lucky. Giant Gonzalez was fleet of foot for a guy 7'4", whatever he weighed. I don't run into too many of my exes. I obviously see Gail because of Lois, uh, but in terms of more recent ones, no. Because I think that um, most of them were not stand-ups. So, I still hang out in the stand-up world. So they don't. I mean, once they stopped dating me, it was like, well, I'm not going to go to the Comedy Store. I bet he banged the cast of Facts of Life. No, I think I took down the teacher first, Mr. Belding. Hello. See, that's Saved by the Bell. You doing Skankfest? Probably not. It's a great show, and Louis Gomez and Big J Okerson, they do a fantastic job of really taking over a city for a weekend. But I think if I'm so associated with roast battles still that they want me to judge naked roast battle. I'm out of that world, man. Now, someone asked me, let me see, it just popped into my head. Speaking of roasting, let me, what, who asked me what we can do to get you on the roast? Um, I apologize for skipping that. Um, Night Moose. Here we go. For the upcoming roast for celebrities, how do we get you involved? Like Netflix, for example. Sorry about that, Night Moose. I'm not trying to bring up super chats, but when it's just like this, my vision it's a blur. The stream. I mean, really, it's not a lot you guys can do individually unless literally hundreds of you guys were tweeting at Netflix. Hey, we want to see at Earl Skakel on the next roast. I mean, if hundreds of you did it, that would probably get them to go, hey, who's this Earl Skakel guy? Now, I know the head of Netflix comedy, and I certainly know the booker of the Netflix is a Joke Festival. I did notice that both of them were watching my Facebook stories when my phony Netflix is a Joke flyer started to surface. So that might be another reason I didn't get the festival, but fuck it. Is there a difference between a comic and a comedian? I mean, not really. I mean, each comic is different. I always tell people I'm not a comic, I'm a performer. It's like Kiss are more performers than musicians. Although I will say, I think Eric Singer is a fantastic drummer. And Tommy Thayer is a very good guitar player, and Gene can be a good bass player, and Paul's a good rhythm guitar player. But you really go to see Kiss when they were playing, and trust me, I don't think they're done playing. Not for necessarily the music, but you go for the show, the explosions, the rockets, Paul flying out over the crowd, all that shit. I mean, you don't see like Megadeth doing that shit. Um, I mean, he probably does, Jordan. But I'm not going to lie. I don't think I don't think I was ever considered for the Tom Brady roast. So I can't. I'm honest. I can't blame him for me not being on the Tom Brady roast. But I will say, if my name was ever in the mix, I can't imagine him or his manager would be like, "Yeah, let's get Earl." I mean, if I got pulled off the Adam Egget roast because they were afraid, and that was a roast that maybe 100 people saw in the main room at the store, no TV, it was just a roast of Adam's friends. I'm sure as hell aren't going to be allowed on Netflix because they know that I'm a rogue wild card. No, I don't think so, to be honest with you. And Tony probably would. I gotta be honest with you, Tony gets a lot of shit for being cocky and kind of a heel. I saw him a few times last week during the festival, and he couldn't have been any nicer to me. He was very humble, you know, kept saying to me, "We did it." I'm like, "I didn't do anything." He's like, "You did." Like, it was a very, um I liked that version that I saw of Tony last week. Uh, yeah, I mean, when, John 5 is the best looking guy in the band, yeeks. Uh, I mean, Gene is in the 70s, so I don't expect Gene to look like he did in the "Lick It Up" video. I mean, I think, Animal Mother for Paul Stanley, I mean, pussy was a gateway drug to dick. Hello! That's a Skakel classic there, thank you very much. Hey, let me thank the tippers tonight, I like to do that. I mean, the last stream was out of control, but tonight, Boulder Johnny, thank you very much for your financial reward. I can't remember, did you ever take the credit card from Gene Simmons? No, I did not. Simmons or Gene Hackman? Well, it depends what it depends on what event. If I'm going to the Playboy Mansion, I want Gene Simmons. If I'm going to a boxing match, I want Gene Hackman. Although the recent pictures of Gene Hackman uh, make it look like he's on Mars, but he is fucking 94 years old. Um, no, I saw that picture. Thank you, but well, listen, $2 I appreciate, I really do appreciate any amount people give me from I believe the $99 super chat that Queen on sent the other night to $2 to I don't know if it's $2 the lowest you can give, like 99 cent super chat. Like I appreciate it. In this economy, I get it. I mean, even I'm starting to audition for stuff because daddy needs the money, honey. All right, we got 8 more minutes to go in the stream, a Saturday Night Live, and then I'm going to go to John Reed Fitness. Oh, you did not, Queen. Do you need the money back? Hello. Good luck trying to get 99 bucks back from me. No, I'm just kidding. But I appreciate that. I mean, it's a lot of money, $100. Bert Perkins, I think, did two $50 super chats. Like, you know, it's not lost on me whether it's $2, $50, $99, $20. My friend Adeline Demonde, she often throws a 20 spot in here. Gene Siskel, or how about the original Gene Simmons? Yeah, I almost did one the other day when I got up for the first time ever. I reached a personal high of reps of 110-pound dumbbells bench press. That was my all-time high at 55. Who are the hot energy drinks on the market? Well, Celsius Cola is a real bip. Rockstar Lemonade. A lot of people love Monster. I don't. The only Monster drink I have is the orange one. Kind of tastes like Orange Crush. Logan Paul's Prime. All right, maybe it's the Paul brothers. I've never had their energy drink. I've had their hydration drink, which has no caffeine. I like several of those flavors. Now, there is, oddly enough, in Los Angeles, there is it's like a $12 bottle of Prime, and it's the Austin Matthews Toronto Maple Leafs bottle. And I don't know why that is so expensive in Los Angeles. Well, I think the cola flavored one, you can get it on Amazon real fast, but in stores, for some reason, it's not in stores a lot. It goes through um, cycles of it's in stores a lot, then it's not. By the way, I tried a new protein cookie the other day, Skippy. Let me see who makes it. It might be Skippy. Hold on, I'm getting a lot of text. Let me see who makes it. Was the best protein cookie I've ever had. Skippy peanut butter. Hold on, butter protein cookie. Yeah, here it is. Is this on Amazon? Because I'll fucking. It is. It's the best protein cookie I've ever had in my life. Redefine Skippy oatmeal protein pie. Now it says it's here at GNC. Let me show you what it looks like. I get no, they are not a sponsor. That's what it looks like. It's really good. Like the best protein cookie I've ever had. Now, I'm assuming it's also on Amazon. Um, let me see. Um, well, I can do that later, but well, while I'm here, I'll look on Amazon. I just ordered some Celsius cola. Let's see. Let's go on Amazon here. So I don't have an Adam Hineker or Jamie Vernon, so I've got to do everything on my own here. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Just crush a multivitamin, lemonade water. You want to try the best practical joke if you really want to get someone who's burned you. Give them a multivitamin and tell them it's chewable. And they'll chew into it. You can't get the taste out of your mouth. It's so disgusting. Someone did that to me years ago, and it literally took me a day and a half to get that medicine-y taste out of my mouth. Kombucha, I've never really enjoyed kombucha. On Piper's podcast, what were your guys? Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull. Uh, they do have a chocolate smoothie at Erewhon in a bottle. It's okay. That's what I heard, Queen, on that no one showed up for Mean Gene's funeral. I think. Let me see. Skippy protein butter cookie. Let's see if that. Right now, they don't show it on Amazon. Um, let's see. Let me take out the word cookie. Okay, let's see that. Yeah, right now you cannot get it on Amazon. That's surprising to me. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's the best protein cookie I've ever had. I got mine at Vitamin Shop, and they haven't had it since. I mean, it was like a limited production. We got about 3 minutes left, guys. I tried. Lenny and Larry's are good, but there's a lot of sugar and carbs in it. How much sugar in the cookie? Let me see here. Let's go back. Let's see here. GNC. Let's see. Too bad you're not as excited about vegan steak as you are protein bars. You can't have it all, baby. Let's see here. Let's take a picture of the. Okay, the ingredient thing is not. I don't know. Here we go. Here we go. How much sugar? The total sugar is 4 grams of sugar. That's not too bad. 28 carbs. So, it's very good. I can't recommend it enough. If you like protein cookies, and it's definitely all over the board. You guys know from some of my past protein cookie reviews that like Lenny and Larry's, they do taste good, but there's a lot of shit in them, carbs, sugar. You get very gassy. Redcon, their bars I find very hard, so I don't like them. Yeah, Vince, right there, right there. By the way, the second bedroom, I have cleared out a space. I just have to figure out a new desk because this desk is too big for upstairs, but I will have a nicer background. I will have a nicer background. Can you say protein cookies? I've said it about 7 times. When I was younger, a soma stuck on my tongue for a second. Took like a full day to get rid of the taste. But I mean that someone did a practical joke to me at the gym, like, "Hey, Earl, try this new chewable vitamin." It was just like a hard one a day vitamin, and I was so ravenous after a workout, I bit into it and swallowed it, and I'm telling you, it took me a day to get the taste out. It's a great practical joke. Let me see. Do you drink the Prime drinks? I drink the hydration drinks. I've never had a Prime energy drink, which I hear have a lot of caffeine, like more than normal. Do you know anyone? Yes, I do. Do you ever drink soda? I'll have a Diet Mountain Dew every now and then. The Quest cookies I find a little dry. Um, so I'm not like a huge fan of theirs. Hey, we've already hit the hour mark. I'll go a few minutes into overtime for you guys. Uh, I'll take your word for that, Ross Incognito. Fart spray. I don't know where you would get fart spray, but be honest with you, I don't want to know, to be frank. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, that's Redefine protein cookies, Skippy peanut butter. Uh, I see them listed at GNC, something called Nutrition Factory with a K. Um, so I've never heard of Nutrition Factory. Let's read the reviews from Ruben M. These Skippy oatmeal peanut butter pies are amazing. If you like peanut butter, you will love these. Taste is great. Wish the size was bigger. I do. Oh, I see they have other flavors. Redefined Power Pie Vanilla. Um, and let me see. They have a Redefine oatmeal protein pie. So interesting. I did not know. Maybe Redefine is a new company on the market. They're going for it. What's your addiction? Energy drinks, big boppers, big boobs, I guess. Um, No, no, I saw him, it makes sense because if you've ever had, like, in the late '80s, early '90s, the protein and multivitamins were just like these huge horse pills. Um, he got me. It was definitely just, um, a pill. So I do low carb keto, so I don't do drinks or protein supplements, only boron for boners. Boron does work. I give you that much. My Big Boppers, the Big Bopper from Chantilly Lace, got a pretty face. Big Bopper died along with Buddy Holly and Richie Valens. Um, Now, someone was telling me Waylon Jennings flipped a coin with Richie Valens, because there was only room for three and there was four of them. And I don't know if I believe this, but apparently, Waylon Jennings' last word to the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and Buddy Holly was, "I hope you guys die in a plane crash," because he was upset that he lost a coin flip. When was the last time you went to McDonald's? Definitely a couple of years. I would say 5 years, maybe 10 years. Now I had a go-to meal at McDonald's. It was a Big Mac, fries, and a chocolate shake. And I would eat that shit inside of 2 minutes. I mean, it was so good. This is back when they had, newspapers, so I would go there's a newsstand right outside the McDonald's on Santa Monica and Veteranish. Jordan would know where that is, and, I would go to the newsstand, and there was what was that? It was a all sports national newspaper, The National? Something it was Inside Sports did it. It was like their newspaper, The National, and I would get that, and then I would eat my meal. Yes, hit the like button. Saturday Night Live. We've done a nice tight hour stream. Thank you for Boulder Johnny for the tip. Um, Hit the like button on your way out. Oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that about Metallica, Wheezy. How many calories in that meal? It's not too many. Let's see here. 320 calories in one pie, 16 grams of fat, three and a half saturated, 300 milligrams of sodium. That's not too bad. 29 carbs, 15 grams of protein. Um, the first ingredients are peanuts, so that's why it probably tastes so good. Second ingredients: oat flour, corn fiber, milk protein, rolled oats, apples, peanuts. The last ingredient, which is the least amount, stevia. So I mean, it's pretty good. Let me see how many are in. From the size of the box, I would guess 12. They also have another, like a chocolate flavor. So I guess Redefine might be a new um, company. I guess getting in on the health craze. Lenny and Larry, killing it, and then there's Redefine, and then there's other um, companies. The cookie craze. It's you go into Vitamin Shop. There's probably 20 different protein bars and cookies. Some are good. Like probably the worst one I had, and I wish I remembered it, it was like a moon pie, a protein moon pie, but it was horrible, very dry, and so I mean everyone loves peanuts, but there are some people with peanut allergies. So what's the news with your documentary? Well, I mean the documentary is finished. Now, what we're trying to figure out, in all honesty, is do we do the documentary first, almost as a prequel to the special, or do we do it all together where it would be like, I mean, the documentary, we've probably got 30 hours of usable video. I mean, we went to my high school, we went to my grade school, we went to my old house, my parents' house in Bel Air, we went to my first apartment I lived in. I mean, we hit every space that had a meaningful impact to me. We went to Leroy's grave, we went to Runyon Canyon where I used to hunt for punani. Uh, and uh, we probably did 10 to 12 hours of interviews in my house with Ryan O'Neal and the great Pistol Pete Lazarus, who's like an award-winning documentary maker. So the footage is great. It's sound fully. We had lob mics on, and like it was a labor of love. And the opening of the special has been shot already. And that was over $1,000 just to do the 30-second opening. I mean, we had a stage designed and made by someone who, was like the set designer for 24. Or so it's like, it's going to be legit. So I hope that you guys like it. And, now it's just, where do we do the special? I can say it now because I don't think it's going to happen there, but I really wanted to do the special at Aviator Nation in Venice, which has a performance room in the back that looks like a Rubik's Cube, the stage. So I think it was a real interesting visual. But, when and they had comedy shows there. So I thought they might be open to, um, a comedy special being filmed there. But, some of my jokes are a little out there. So I started thinking, maybe they wouldn't be down for the material that I'd be doing, but they kind of flaked out and never really got back to me. And the problem there is that the staff there, even the managers are like, they're all below 25 years old. So I'm surprised comics don't flood the place going in there. But so we'll see. I mean, um, I just don't want to do a I could rent a theater. I mean, Jordan knows the neighborhood. I could just go and pick any theater on Santa Monica Boulevard from, say, there's probably 20 theaters in between uh, on Santa Monica Boulevard from, say, Robertson to Highland. But then it just looks like a theater. It just looks like any other fucking special. So we thought about doing it in my living room, but it was we were given a budget estimate from a friend of mine who's sets up budgets for things of this nature. She said 30 grand because of the hardwood floors, the sound would be rough unless you did it right. And so it's just like, um, we'll see. I don't know. Did you see the great Mike Buschetti as President Jimbles and Smiling Friends? I did not watch Smiling Friends yet, but I am happy for Mike. He's a good dude. A nude special, tell me about it. That wouldn't get eyes on the product. A lot of people don't know this, but before I lost to Sarah Tiana in the live finale of Roast Battle, if I would have beaten her, I would have come out nude for the finale. I had already had it cleared. Looking back, wouldn't have been a great idea, but I was hyped up. So I think that's about it, boys and girls. Saturday Night Live in the house. I'm gonna try and do a stream tomorrow night around 6 p.m. Yeah, I mean, there's like you can't really see. Um, the ceilings are very low in my unit. I would say maybe 10, maybe 12-foot ceilings, hardwood floor. So it's an acoustics nightmare, to be honest with you. But we're still excited about it. It's just, um, I thought it would be funny if we did it in my condo, just because where my jellies picture is, that could be the stage, and then people would be sitting on couches and a few chairs, and I was actually going to have Gail, my ex-girlfriend, Lois's mom, right there serving drinks. She's a professional bartender, so I thought that would be funny. Um, but the reality is, it would be very fucking hot in here. If you had, I think we could probably jam 40 people in here, which would be great because I've done a show at someone's apartment before, and it was really fun. I mean, when the jokes would hit, it sounded like a bomb blew up. It was so, everyone was in so tight. But, so we're, to answer your question, Jordan, we're still working on it. It's definitely going to happen. It's just, I want to find a place that's special. Um, yeah, no, I mean, it's that, like right now, I'm in here alone. Um, and I don't know how the sound sounds to you guys, but to me, I definitely hear an echo chamber from the hardwood floors to the ceiling. So, um, and then it's obviously I'd love to have the special on Netflix, but I think after a couple specials that were sold to them that did not do well, uh, they don't buy outside produced specials. And obviously, right now, I'm not known enough for them to want to give me a special. So, it will probably end up on YouTube, but, Ari Shafir style. So, um, you pay, I think Ari had a payment structure in place. You pay what you want. You want to pay a dollar? Give me a dollar. You want to pay me $100? Give me $100. Want to watch it for free? Watch it for free. Um, Hit the like button before we end. We'll go another 2 more minutes. Thank you very much. Been a very good stream. Um, and I do appreciate you guys joining me on a Saturday night. I know you have many viewing options. So, but I really, I do a joke on stage about, all specials look alike. You could put Chappelle and Sebastian special. You could put Tiana and Eliza special. You could put Eliza and Steph Tolo's special. We got a last minute super chat from Peter the Chicken Man Brennan, $2. You think Boone or Bushman ever do Kathy Lewis? That is a deep cut on all 3 levels. I would guess that seeing that Boone Shakalaka was a well-known homosexual in the comedy community, that it definitely wasn't Boone. I could see Bushman, who was reportedly had a big hog. I could see him trying to give Kathy Lewis, a working over. You should open your special with a clip of you in the OR late night saying you want to film it in front of 8 people. Trust me, Wheezy, the opening of this special has already been filmed, and it's an homage to a certain Sylvester Stallone movie, and has Pete Lazarus. It took about 12 hours to film a 30-second scene. It was incredibly hot that day. All I can say is that the opening will separate the Earl fans from the non-Earl fans in under 30 seconds. So I hope, I can't give it away, but let's just say I think you will be pleased. And I'm getting a text from an anonymous person. I value my anonymity to my fans. Um, who knows? Maybe I will do it there, Mr. Anonymous. I can't give it away because it costs too much money, and it's more about the surprise element of it. Uh, yeah, I mean, obviously with the special, I almost want to release the documentary first as like a teaser. I mean, that would make it special right there. Who puts out a documentary before the special? Like nobody's ever done that. So that's appealing to me. Um, and then obviously I would love, I might even do Kill Tony. I might, maybe Rogan sees me, hey, well, come on the pod. I mean, promoting specials these days, you got to go on the big podcast. Maybe I could, go on Two Bears, One Cave. Although I don't know. Um, I mean, I did Your Mom's House a couple times, but I think I called Segura fat on the last one because he was doing this Mystic Rick wrestling character, and he messaged me saying, "Hey, come on and come in character as a wrestling fan." And so I did, and I call him fat in character, and I don't think he liked that. So he hasn't talked to me since. You know me, just burning bridges like the Slaughter song says. So this has been Earl Skakel over now. Thanks for the 38 likes. Let's try and get it to 40 before we end the stream. Um, well, I mean, I think I'm a great podcast guest because I've got a lot of stories, and they're not the atypical, uh, you know, hard luck stories that most comics have. I would love to do Bad Friends Tiger Belly. I'm friends with Carlos Herrera, who was on, I think, isn't he on Bad Friends or one of those fucking podcasts? So if I could get on all those we just named, the special could get some legs. Because if you're a good guest on those podcasts, you get an instant following like that. Night Night Earl is having a nightmare. Cut to Earl in front of 8 people in OR. Earl wakes up in a cold sweat. Cut the opening scene of a polished special. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things we could do. I could be in bed sleeping, have a nightmare of that scenario, wheezy, and then bam. I would probably go on Amico's thing. Listen, podcasts are the new talk shows. I mean, if you said to me you could pick one or the other, would you rather do the Tonight Show to promote the special or Rogan? I'd be like Rogan. Um, and then maybe I could do the Tonight Show. I mean, I'm going to leave no stone unturned once this special gets out. And I'm fairly well liked with all those podcast hosts. I mean, um, I'm sure, I could reach out to some of Bert's openers and be like, hey, man, can you ask Bert if I could come on? I really need to promote this. I mean, I'm going into this going, this is my only special I'm ever going to release. I want to go all in. And, we'll see. I mean, uh, Theo and I have known each other a long time. I mean, we used to do restaurant shows in Seal Beach. Um, but he's pretty big time. So, he's kind of left the friends he started with behind. It's not something that I would do, but I would absolutely do it if he would have me. And I mean, Ari Shafir, I would love to do This Is Not Happening. I'd reach out to the Skankfest guys. So, I mean, I don't have too many enemies, to be honest with you. Like, really only one, and I think even he deep down knows that I'm right for how I feel. He doesn't care, but, deep down, I know he knows. So, all right, you guys know the deal. Follow me everywhere at Earl Skakel. Been putting up a few new inappropriate Earls. Eric Audet, the author of 3 Years in Pakistan. My comedy friend Roger Rod, and before Roger, Mike, Matt Berry, hockey fan and casting director of Con Air and other great films. Uh, I would love to be on Ari Shafir's show because Ari gets my humor, and I get Ari's humor for sure. So I think that would be an amazing interview. I know he had a show about bullying that I would have loved to have done because I was bullied as a kid a lot. So I thank you guys for the suggestions, and I'm hoping to at least have the documentary out within the next month or so. I mean, it's a lot of footage we shot. Like I said, 30 to 40 hours, and I'm proud of it. So, and then hopefully get the special filmed and out and get some buzz behind it and take it from there. I mean, I will say this gig I'm up for on the streaming service uh, shoots in August, so that would be a nice way to kind of end the summer. I mean, yeah, but that's Boulder Johnny, like that is another interesting part of my family life to have two uncles. Well, one be a president of the country, and Robert Kennedy Sr., he would have been president. So, it is that's why I'm a little surprised I've never been on Rogan because, yeah, obviously we would talk comedy and all that, but, just the political um, aspects of my family background, I think would entice Joe to go, hey, it's something else. That's something I can't talk about with any other comic. But, I know that Joe, as most podcast people do, they hate it when you ask them to be on a podcast. I remember one time I had a comic come up to me when my podcast was pretty popular, even before I bought followers or listens, whatever. I still not sure what I bought. And he's like, "Hey, I'll do your podcast when I can." And I remember looking at this guy going, "I never asked you to do it." And that's how I think the big podcasts feel like, "Hey, if we want you on the podcast, we'll ask you." So, and of course, you guys have tried to help in the past by um, tweeting at certain podcasts, "Hey, have the greatest comic of all time at Earl Skakel on," and that doesn't help. That sounds like something I told you to tweet out. Earl, you think the CIA took out JFK? I mean, who knows, Michael? I mean, the Kennedys, JFK had so many enemies. You had the mob, you had the CIA, you had the Russians, you had the Cubans. Um, you know, I mean, it's really, there's 4 or 5 plausible scenarios. Um, I don't think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. He wasn't that smart. And I don't think he was that good of a shot. I mean, if you really think about it, to get 3 shots off in the amount of time on a moving object in a windy corridor. I mean, I've been in that Daily Plaza area. It's very windy. Now maybe with a gun, Sammy Sosa, what the hell does he have to do with anything? Uh, Maybe with a modern gun, you could pull that off. But with an old, pull action rifle, I don't think so, man. But listen, anything's possible. I just don't think I mean, he was a skilled marksman, but I don't think he was that skilled. Um, but it will probably never be solved, to be honest with you. So, all right, guys, I appreciate Joe Son, the UFC fighter from I think UFC 3. Maybe who knows? What was he, about 2 years old when that happened? Uh, well, I mean, you know, it's just there's a new theory that Robert F. Kennedy was shot from behind because someone had a bullet wound, or the wound that one of the wounds RFK had was really only possible if you were behind him. like in terms of the entry and exit wound. Sirhan was in front of him. Now, maybe they're just mistaken and there was no one behind him and the bullet entered, from the front and just looked like it entered from behind. I mean, you got to remember that in 1968 and 63, the scientific means to determine crimes was, this ain't Chicago PD 2024. Um, by the way, I'll end with a great story. Saturday night story time with Earl is about to commence. Thank you very much. So one of the first TV shows I ever started watching was First and 10 on HBO. Now let's get some research on First and 10. Uh, 10 HBO. It starred Delta Burke. Oh, here we go. Here's the cast. Prince Hughes is Bubba Kincaid. Cliff Frazier is Jethro. Reed Shelton. O.J. Simpson. Donald Gibb. Um, Jason Behe. Marshall Teague was in Inappropriate Old Guest um, from Roadhouse. It was a sitcom that aired on HBO from 84 to 91. And in the early years, you had, speaking of Chicago PD, um, Jason Behe played Tom Yanessa, a walk-on quarterback. And I'd say 89, maybe 1990, I was on the beach with some friends, and we're looking for some tuna boat, if you know what I mean. And all of a sudden, I see Jason Behe with his family. They walk up right next to us. They're putting their beach towels on, and I had a football. And he looked at me like, "What's up?" And I just threw the football at him. I said, "Yanessa, throw me the rock." And he threw me a really shitty, wobbly pass. And I looked at him and I'm like, "You're not really a pro quarterback, are you?" And he just looks at me and goes, "Bro, I'm with my wife and kids." I'm like, "My bad, my bad." Story time with Earl, Saturday night. We'll see you tomorrow night.